Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And I am going to show you my finished pages from April. So you may want to get yourself a drink or something as we settle down and take a look at them because there's quite a few. The majority of them are color by numbers, but I do have some straight coloring in here too. First of all, I am pleased to announce that I finished my very first coloring book. Now this is not anything huge or anything, but I did finish it. I'm not going to give you a flip through because it has its own flip through, which will be coming up after this, but I did just under half of the book in April. So that's the first one. Then next I did a couple of pictures in this one. Oh, hang on a second, my camera has been moved a bit. There we go. Okay, I did a couple of pictures in this. This is the first book in the Les Grands Classiques series, and I've decided I'm going to go in order with this one. So, using that as a test page. So, these are the two that I did, and I am really pleased with how they came out. First of all, I'll say that they're harder than I thought they were going to be. So that was that was one thing, and they took longer than I thought they would. But that's really well worth the effort because they're just absolutely stunning when they're finished. I've used Posca, black Posca for all the black, and I used a white Posca on here for the dots and the outlines around her wings. So yeah, that's all I've done, and I can't wait to get started on the next one. I'm not looking at the back. There are four pictures on each page at the back of the solution. So if I come across somebody that I don't know who it is, I'm going to wait until I've done 4 pages. So then I can look at the whole page and not spoil anything for myself. I know. But that's how I am. So I love that. I want every single book in that series. Believe me. Then next I did a picture out of Creative Haven's newest, well, it might not be their exact very newest book, but it came out either the end of April or the beginning of May, and I did this one right here in gel pens. I have absolutely no desire to color the words. They're just there. And then next I picked up this magazine from the bookstore, and it's the first time I've ever seen this magazine. Apparently it's been around for a short while. I've heard of one that was about sea life and one that was about the jungle, and I wish I hadn't missed out on them, but I am checking the bookstore regularly now to make sure I don't miss the next one that comes out. So let's take a look at what I did. These are just like the French Coloriage Mystère, and the theme is pets. So I did this rabbit. I was really pleased with how that came out. I did that in alcohol markers. Then there was the frog, and I was really pleased with how this one turned out too. This one I did it with, not sure which markers, but they're just regular water-based markers, and then I went over them with a damp brush. And this one I went back to my alcohol markers, except my green ran out on me, and I scrubbed away at it to make sure it finished the whole background there. So yeah, not as pleased with that as I could be. Then this one, I went back to using my water-based markers, and it didn't quite turn out as well as the other one did, and my major mistake was using this this orange. It's kind of a neonish orange, and I don't think it took very well. The only thing I don't like about this magazine is that the white spaces have a number in them. Number 4 is white. Oh, the other thing I should say is that the numbers, oh yeah, here we are. At the beginning of the book, there's the color palette. So the same 20 colors are used throughout the whole book. And it will just, where are we? It will just tell you the colors that you're using. Like this says 2, 4, 5, 9, and so on. So yeah, number 4 is white, and I don't like that because you can see a number 4 in all the empty spaces. Then this was the next one, and it didn't take me too long till I figured out what it was, and I have to say that it was both fascinating and creepy to color this, because I don't like spiders, and I mean, I can handle a picture of a spider, but I'd rather not. And didn't it turn out like absolutely fantastic? I love the way it turned out. It's just, it creeped me out being a spider. Then the next one is a hen. So far we haven't had a real pet so far. I know there's people who have spiders for pets, and maybe someone has a goat for a pet, but interesting. So yeah, back to my alcohol markers. Of course, they're what I like the best. I like to color with them almost exclusively. And then I think this was the last one I did. And this was back to alcohol markers. And here we finally get a kitty. And as you can see, these are single-sided, so alcohol markers are fine, and that's what I will be doing next. And then the next book that I did was Brilliantly Vivid Color by Number Animal Friends. There's 3 in this series. And I did kind of go all over the place when I first started, but last month I started going back through it in order. So this was the first one that I did, which I don't like because I used that neon orange again. I should just throw that away because I hate neon orange. It's the only orange I have, though, in my old markers. I need to start using my orange from my new set of Ohuhus. Here I had another green running out on me. This is my old set of Touch News. I've had them for about 3 years, and they're all starting to run out on me. Then I did this one, which is kind of blah because of the background. This I loved, and this got a lot of love on Instagram too. Really nice colors, and everybody loves jellyfish, I think. And then we did the kitties, and this one I really like. It's much better than that fish one where they leave all the white space, because in this one there's no background color, but they filled up all the space. So yeah, and that one turned out nicely, and that's where I finished off in that one. Next book I'm working on is this one. This is from an Amazon publisher, Lilt House. They have a lot of books whose titles are practically the same thing, and I think the books are all practically the same too. I don't know like how different they are. But this one, again, I went all over the place, and then I decided to go back to the beginning. And I've also done experimentation in here, so some of the pictures are pretty ugly. So we'll just go over them quickly, or I'll tell you what it was I was trying to do. Okay, so here's this one. On the back of this page is your color palette, and it's the same for every single picture, but it's still there, which I appreciate. Okay, and this one, pretty simple. Another one, pretty simple. This one I used a crayon and some Gamsol for the background. I wanted to see how a crayon worked since I'd never used the Gamsol on a crayon. I should have chose a much darker color because I picked sky blue, and so it worked great, but it's pretty pale. Then this one is a nice one. This one's kind of boring. See how they're all very similar? Okay, now this one was really nice, and I loved how it turned out. But I had these little jars of glitter glue that were like, I don't know, a dozen years old, and I decided to get one out and spread it over the background to see what it looked like, and it looked horrendous. So I just threw them all out. But I have been saving them for 12 years, so I finally got rid of them. Yay me. And then we're back to, I've showed these ones before, so that'll be my next picture. Okay, and then we have Colortronic, and this one I am going in order. So I started off jumping all over the place and then went back to going in order. I kind of like doing books, the color by numbers in order. So again, I'm using the neon orange, which I have got to throw away. That will make me use one of my other oranges. So, and this one, the colors are way too light on that one. I did that one before. Then I did the tiger. And I think I finished up with this lady. Yeah, and that's the last one I did this month. Last month, I mean. That one turned out really nice. So, this is the cover one, and that's where I shall be starting. My goal is to finish this book. I have a few done. A couple here and there. But, Zoe, oh, why is her last name totally left my mind? It'll come back to me and I'll suddenly blurt it out. Zoe Archer, there you go. She is having a color along this month, and it's Colortronic. So there's two of these books. There's this one, and it has various things in it, and then there's an animal one. So I got that at the beginning of this month, and I'll be coloring in both of the books. But my goal is to finish this one and to hopefully do a few in the other book. So you'll be seeing lots of those on my channel this month. Then we have Coloring Quest, and this is a Sun Life book. I'm doing this one in order now too, but the first thing I had to do was go back and do the ones in between. So I did the octopus, and I did, I used Bic markings mostly for that one. Then I did this one, which just turned out horrid because I used a neon yellow. When will I learn? then I did this one, which I think is really cool. Then I did this one, which there are a few mistakes in it, but when I made a mistake, I tried to go to the part in the pattern and repeat the mistake so that it still went in order. And I did have a little bit of an accident where a little bit of my drink kind of splashed on the page and made the marker run. So yeah, not exactly the greatest piece of work, but it was a lot of fun to do. The puzzles in here are really fun. And then I did this one, which was a lot of fun too. It took me a while to figure out what this was. But yeah, really like that. And then I think this is the last one I did, and this is the cover picture. I've decided that I don't like the circles. The circle ones never, it's hard for me to color a circle for some reason. And I can't decide whether I want to leave the little tiny spaces between all the circles or if I should be filling those in. So I've done it both ways, and neither way has 100% satisfied me, but it looks better on camera than it does in real life, up close anyways. So that's where I am in the book. I think, no, I haven't done any, but that's where I will continue in that one. Then the next book is Color by Number Masterpieces, and I decided to flip straight to the beginning and start doing this one in order, even though I have done quite a few all over the place. So I did 3 famous paintings. Well, they're supposed to all be famous in here, but I have never seen some of them or heard of some of them. So we have Vincent van Gogh, we have The Scream, and then we have my favorite artist of all time, Gustav Klimt. And I am so happy this one turned out nicely. So yeah, the next one I've done, so I'll be skipping one, and then that will be my next one. Next book is Quirkles, and this is a huge book, so I can't get it all into camera. It's almost there. But if you look at it compared to, like, this is a normal sized book right here. You see how much bigger it is, and it's a little bit wider. So again, I've gone back to the beginning and I'm doing these in order. So the first one I did this month was, I had to look up who this was because I could not tell who it is. It is Nelson Mandela. It's totally, I chose totally inappropriate colors for him. But I do not look. So, the next one I did was the poster in the middle. So I will try to open it up for you to see. I think you can tell who it is just from this top half. So that's as good as it's gonna get. But in case you can't tell, that's Elvis. I had no idea who I was doing because I said I don't look. And I just decided I would do it in grayscale, so whoever it was, it would come out looking all right. And that is all I did this month in that one. Then when I picked up the Pets magazine, I saw a couple of other magazines there too. So I I picked this up just so I could have a look at it. I won't ever buy it again. It's okay. It's like a bunch of Zentangly type of illustrations, and I pick it up every now and then and we'll have fun doing it. But the one that I really want to find is the Color Magic, because it's like the optical illusion French coloriage mystère, the trompe l'oeil, however you pronounce it. Anyway, so, oh yeah, it says right here that it's volume 1. Or are they just showing us volume 1? Let me know if you've seen that. It's a penny press magazine, and it's this one right here, and it's Color Magic, and it's American. Let me know if you've seen that, because I'm dying to find it. So anyways, I started at the front of this. And I'm doing little things like this. For this one, I grabbed every gel pen I had that wasn't one of my, that didn't belong to a set. So these are all my odds and ends and stuff. And I just used them all to do this picture. Then this one, I have, these are right here, these are all my alcohol markers that have run out. I can't rely on them to color in a block of space in a coloring book. But they're not out of ink. So I have them all turned upside down with the bullet pointing that way so that the ink is running into the bullet tip. And I get enough ink out of them to do little spaces like this. And so I have another book which I'm only using these for. So my color combinations are quite interesting. But I decided to use those on this picture in here. And I think I think the color combination turned out pretty okay. It's certainly not something I would have chosen. Then this one, oh my god, this was so tiny. It was like teeny weeny. So I got out my gel pens again. Oh, you know what I did? I got out all of my jelly rolls. That's it. I have 3 sets. I have the classics, I have the midnights, and I have the metallics. So those are the 3 sets I have. I want all the other sets, but wanting and having and needing are 3 different things. So I got out all my jelly rolls, and the classics that I have are the 0.38 ones. That's how small these were. I had to use a magnifying glass to do this. So again, my color palette was limited, and I liked this until this part in here was the very last thing I did, and it was looking so good until I filled these in. Then it just totally ruined it, and I ended up going over parts of this with the black. It was colored different colors, but yeah. So that's the last one I did. The next one is pretty tiny too, but it's nowhere near as tiny as the one that I just did. I'll try and do that one next month. But yeah, I don't think I ever even did a flip through of this, but I like it. It's got, maybe I'll do like what I do with my Sudoku books. I don't buy one every month. I buy one when I finish one. Maybe that's what I'll do with these. Okay, then try animals. I am still jumping around in this. I haven't gone... Well, maybe I did decide to go back to the beginning. Yes, I did. I think. So anyways, I did this one first, and I did it in alcohol inks because it's the first one and there was nothing that I cared about on the other side. So I used my alcohol markers. Then this one I just used water-based. And same with this one. But before I went back to the beginning, I did this one. And this one I did with pencil crayons and Gamsol. Prismacolors and Gamsol. And one thing that I'm doing with them all is when it's finished, I'm outlining them with a black fine liner. I've done that to them all except for this one, obviously. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that book. It was difficult when I first started, but this one I've only done one. This is Travel Mosaic by Sun Life Drawing, and I did this. And this took a lot longer than I thought it would, because you have to color in every single little space since they're all separated. Sorry, I was just having a drink. But I just absolutely loved watching this come to life. And as I go forward, I'm going to have to remember to try and pick out my brightest colors each time, because that's going to make these pop. And then I went over the white line that was left in between with a silver gel pen. I heard somebody else say they did that. And it looks great. Okay, then I also got a new book this month, and I did one in here. Yes, this is the one I did. Now this one's a complete mystery because there are no solutions in this one, and that's why it's called Mystery Quest, because it really is a mystery. So you have no idea what the pictures are going to be unless you watch other people's videos and you see them like this. Took me a while to figure out what it was going to be, because when I first started off, I had this. So I had this, and I had this, and then down here where this yellow is, that was another point. So I thought I was going to get some kind of star-shaped thing, but this is what we got. Then I started off the month working in this one, but I didn't get too far, and I decided to just start with the beginning. And I wasn't too thrilled with this one. I just didn't like the colors. Then I liked them. I liked this. And I really liked this. And that's as far as I've gotten. I just did the first three. I really want to get this. I need to keep this one on the top this month because I'm only going to work in this in spring. And we just have May and the first part of June left for spring. Then I'll put it away and work on it next month. Then this is one of my Disney books. And I did a few pages in here. So I'm getting the hang of working in these books because they're double-sided, so you have to kind of figure out what you're going to do. And I'm using felt tip markers. I don't know which ones I used on here. Probably Faber-Castells. Okay, so I did that one. I did this one. I don't know who this is. And I did this one. And this is my favorite one. And this is when I finally figured out my technique. So, yeah, these ones I was practicing and trying to come up with the way I want to do them. And this one I think is the best. And that's the technique I'm using now in all these books. Okay, then this was in my last book haul, and this was a children's book. And I'm starting at the beginning. I colored the little fairies on the title page. I'm going to color those. And I'm going to color the characters when we meet them, so I've colored a few of them. And I love this page. I'm using my Tan Mitt gel pens only in this book. This page I went over with Sharpie to cover up this stuff to see what it looked like. And it worked well. It covered up on the other side too, mostly. This was actually the first page I did in it, and I used markers, and I didn't like how it turned out. So I went back, did this one in gel pens, and went, aha, that is what we're doing, gel pens. So then I did the fairy castles, and I think that's the last page. Oh, no, it's not. Then I did the sleeping fairy, and I decided not to continue with the Sharpie. So that was the last page I Sharpied. And there. That's as far as I've done in that. I may try and finish that this month. Then, remember how I was telling you about these? This is the project that I'm working on with these. This is the one color mandala by Sun Life Drawing. Only I'm not doing them one color. I'm using my used up alcohol markers to do them. So I have limited and strange color palettes to choose from to do each one. And this is what I've come up with so far. So far I've used up 2 alcohol markers that I completely dried out. I think I've got one of them here. Yeah, right here. Here's one of them. This is there's nothing in here when I was finished with it. And I mean, you can get a lot of ink out of a dried up marker by storing them that way, but it's only going to last for a little bit. You can see how I start out dark, and then as I get to near the end of my row, it's starting to wear out again. So it needs to have its lid put back on and stood upside down and let it wait for a while. Now this one I think turned out really nice. And this one surprised me. I thought I needed to use the brown, so I stuck it in there, and the brown and the pink ended up looking really nice. This one, didn't work so great, I don't think. Then I did do one the way you're supposed to do them, in one color. I got out one of my oh-hoo-hoos, and I did it the regular way just to see what one looked like. And then I went back to using up my alcohol markers. So they're all very similar because I'm working with the same set of markers. But I am adding a couple of new colors every couple of days or so, and will eventually be getting rid of them. Then I decided to pick out all the greens and use them in one. And that's what I got. Then I think, and I went, no, because I used the greens in here. I don't know how I came up with that pattern. It's not bad. And this one, I think this is the last one I did. Yeah, this really surprised me because I had just added the pinks to it. So I had a pink before because there was, yeah, see here, I did have a pink and a light purple, but I ended up getting a couple of more pinks, or 2 or 3 more pinks, so it really has widened my choices. I was pleased with how that one turned out. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. I like working with limited palettes. That's the way I work with everything. Like when I'm doing my mixed media, when I'm doing my collage, when I knit and crochet, I like to work with scraps. So yeah, it's just the way I am. And then last month I did this one out of Cute Pets and Animals by Draw Tencel. I did the little ducky. I had wanted to do more in here because I love mosaics, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And then this was my first Use Up Your Hoard book. And this is the picture that I chose. And I absolutely love it. I used my tan Mitt gel pens in here, and it looks really, really nice. And I have her other books too, Georgie Woolridge. This one's animals, and she has birds, and I think the other one's sea life. I really like those books. And speaking of sea life, this is my last book. I did one of these in the Sea Life color by number. I did this one, which I am absolutely thrilled with. I think that turned out fantastic. I can't remember what I used. I did a color along with this though, and I told you what I used in there. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much color by numbers, but a couple in there that weren't. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed taking a peek at everything that I colored last month. And stay tuned, and we'll see what happens this month. I've still got the itch to do lots of coloring, and I'm addicted to color by numbers still, so it's gonna be more of that. So have a nice day, and I hope you're all well, and I want to thank my subscribers for staying with me and supporting me, and I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Looks like we are going to hit 950. It's a reality. We're getting there, but I think 950 is going to be a reality. So in the meantime, until next time, bye-bye!